So, God understands the human need to connect. How do I know? Well, he gave Adam Eve so he wouldn't be alone. Jesus surrounded himself with a few deep relationships. Paul set up the early church as a tight-knit group rather than a place. There was simply community. God created us for community. Jesus illustrated community. The church practiced community. So that's your goal, to connect the faith of your few to a community. So how do you create this community? It's really pretty simple. It means you show up. You choose to be present. That means you, 1, show up predictably. For most of you, that means you're there weekly. You can't lead a small group without trust. You can't build community without trust. And the first step to gaining the trust of your few is making sure they know you're going to be there, predictably and consistently. This is the most important thing you can do, because everyone needs someone who knows their name and what's happening in their life. 2, show up mentally. It's one thing to show up physically. It's an entirely different thing to show up physically and mentally. When you show up mentally, you commit to engaging your few in meaningful discussions and to listening, really listening to what your students have to say. It means leaving email and Twitter at the door. This means knowing the content ahead of time and being mentally prepared to shed some light, some scriptural insight into their world. And lastly, show up randomly. Never underestimate the power of showing up randomly. This is a phone call, a birthday card, a baseball game, a text message, a Facebook post. These small connections may seem insignificant, but when you choose to be present in an unsuspected way outside of your weekly group time, you're creating a better connection to the community you're trying to create. And this kind of community will grow and encourage authentic faith. They'll begin to trust you when you show up predictably, show up mentally, and show up randomly. You can't be present for everyone, but you can be present for a few. That's why the best way to be present is to lead small.